Just when you thought the drama was getting out of hand, Mendeecees sets went and raised the bar even further. And guess what? It's not just any slap we're talking about. Hold on, did you really think you've seen it all in the world of reality TV? Think again. Imagine Rasheeda, fierce as ever, facing Yandy over an unspoken beef. But wait, it gets juicier when Mendeecees witnesses it. This is an explosive fight filled with love and loyalty that has hip-hop fans wondering all they know about loyalty, love, and loyalty again, because evidently that's a thing. Indeed, in the midst of their furious argument, the same man who used to call himself a family man enters and slaps Rasheeda. Yes, you heard correctly. It's like a telenovela slap. But what was his justification? Was he protecting his wife, or was he simply in the mood? And you thought the drama around love and hip-hop was all prearranged? Well, think again. What comes next will blow your mind. So stay tuned because we're going to reveal the year's biggest controversy, and I promise it's amazing. Nothing could have prepared us for the dramatic battle that transpired, but the world of reality television, particularly love and hip-hop, has a history of creating spectacular moments that keep fans talking for weeks. If you thought you had seen it all in terms of drama, think again. Between Mendeecees, Rasheeda, and Yandy, imagine this. On a typical day in the world of hip-hop and romance, Rasheeda, who is renowned for her fiery attitude and unyielding manner, enters a room prepared to face her old friend Yandy about some long-standing conflict. Yandy does not. Mendeecees sees her husband, who seems to have finished the drama. Just as you think the fight between Rasheeda and Yandy is about to break out, but the tension in the room is so intense that you could cut it with a knife. When Mendeecees arrives on the scene, he appears to have had enough of the back and forth. He is obviously impatient and tired of mediating conflicts and doesn't simply urge Rasheeda to stop talking or say something like, "Let's talk it out." No, he slaps Rasheeda in the middle of this furious argument without hesitation. He slaps her across the face. Wait, what just happened? Yes, it did, and the audience was in complete amazement. We've witnessed people yell, fight, and throw cocktails, but a full-on smack, that's a level of drama that nobody anticipated. But here's the real deal. Hoops, the slap was only the beginning. Mendeecees realizes in the heat of the moment that it doesn't end there, and he continues with comments that make you think you can touch my wife and get away with it? He asks Yandy as the tension in the room rises to an unprecedented level. This is where things start to get interesting because Mendeecees' actions weren't the only thing at stake. Men views as the one who finally stated what everyone was thinking. Enough is enough. He defends his wife, saying, "No, this was about setting the record straight." For months, if not years, there had been rumors and whispers about Rasheeda and Yandy and their ongoing dispute. Let's take a time to reflect and ask the question that everyone is asking. Why now? Why did you do that? And what happens when you have that type of explosive reaction on a reality program like this? You have public indignation, social media backlash, and endless speculation. Let's look down Mendeecees' decision to react this way at this time. He has endured a lot, from resolving his previous legal troubles to the ongoing scrutiny that comes with being a prominent role in the Love and Hip Hop series. We've witnessed him experience highs and lows with his family, Rasheeda, and even Yandy. So why did he lose it this time? Was it unresolved business between the two women, or was there something more serious that had been boiling for a long time? Or was it just a case of protecting his pride? Whatever the reason, one thing is certain. This slap wasn't a single outburst of annoyance. Rather, it was the result of months' worth of building tension. And let's not forget there are repercussions from public confrontations even after the cameras stop recording and the incident is edited. But before we discuss the impact, let's examine what caused Mendeecees to lose it. Rasheeda and Yandy had a long-standing feud, but in recent months things have gotten worse. Both ladies have been verbally attacking each other and exposing their private issues to the public. This wasn't a small argument over a miscommunication, no. It was an ongoing quarrel that had been building like a storm, ready to explode. In the months before the incident, Tension was at dangerously high levels, and Rasheeda, who is typically a strong, independent woman, wasn't afraid to voice her disapproval of Yandy's behavior. Remarks there has been a persistent story about Yandy attempting to weaken Rasheeda's power and bond with Mendeecees. Let's not even discuss Mendeecees' feelings about this. He's been caught in the midst, attempting to act as the peacekeeper, but everything therefore. When this moment eventually reached a breaking point, Mendeecees entered the scene, saw Rasheeda and Yandy fighting, and made the explosive decision to step in. This wasn't precisely an impulsive decision though. Mendeecees feels like he's been pushed to the limit, but once he makes his dramatic move, there's no turning back. This was the last straw, and we're not just talking about a small annoyance. There was years of drama and unresolved tension between the two women. After then, things start to become pretty interesting because, in addition to dealing with the criticism from the public for slapping Rasheeda to something that is already going viral online, Mendeecees now has to deal with the ramifications of his behavior on the show and in his personal life. This incident isn't a simple slap, it's a cascade of events that might alter everything, and believe us, the fallout is far from done. However, before we go into the aftermath, let's examine how the audience responded to what happens when a highly anticipated reality TV moment like this occurs. You guessed it, social media goes crazy. People have opinions and aren't afraid to share them within minutes of the shocking event and the turmoil that follows. Hashtags like #Mendeecees slap, #Rasheeda ABSLYANDY, and #LovingHip-Hop drama were trending, and everyone from ardent fans to casual watchers was commenting on the dramatic event that was broadcast on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. The fact is that this was drama at its best. It wasn't just a tiny argument between two women. Fans were divided, with some backing Mendeecees, others side with Rasheeda, and some outright stunned by the slap's brutality. What's even more bizarre is that some individuals blamed Yandy for the entire scenario, arguing that nothing would have occurred if Yandy hadn't been so rude and noisy. Others deemed Mendeecees as smack justified, saying that nobody should ever lay hands on a man's wife. It's an intense back and forth, and the internet is obsessed. Fans are consuming every moment of the drama, and hip-hop is trending more than ever. At the same time, the internet is unable to stop discussing behind-the-scenes happenings. The showrunners at Love and Hip Hop, who, let's face it, thrive on drama, weren't prepared for this degree of heat, but this was a full-blown nuclear bomb. You see, when reality TV becomes too genuine, producers start to perspire. One unnamed producer claims that the slap in the Velvet Room wasn't pre-approved, planned, or even included in the shoot's outline that day. We thought we were filming a normal confrontation, maybe a drink toss at most, but Mendeecees went off script. Rasheeda allegedly refused to continue filming unless something was done because she felt disrespected. Rumors started to circulate that the cast and crew were compelled to attend an emergency meeting immediately after the scene concluded. Allegedly exclaimed, "This ain't just TV no more, that man really put his hands on me." However, the narrative changed, and while Rasheeda was incensed, Yandy wasn't. She was humiliated and misled not only by Mendeecees, but by the entire production team. According to sources, she jumped up, pulled off her microphone, and walked out of the arena as soon as the slap hit. She did this because she knew what was going to happen next. Chaos and probably a PR nightmare. Yandy's image has always all about strategic diplomacy and control, at least on camera, but suddenly she's in the middle of a toxic triangle, and the cameras were rolling the entire time. What's more, insiders claim that Rasheeda didn't simply drive home in a rage, but instead drove directly to Kirk. Yes, her husband, and she reportedly sobbed as she told him what had transpired. Kirk, who usually keeps a low profile when things go wrong, reportedly didn't remain silent this time and called producers, attorneys, and even some of the other cast members. requesting that Mendeecees be held responsible. Were discussing legal threats, requests for public apology, and a possible lawsuit if problems don't be settled promptly. According to one dubious source, Kirk allegedly told one of the producers, "You let him put Mendeecees," observes that he's attempting to manage the situation, saying that it wasn't a slap, but rather a reflexive tap, and that Rasheeda had been in his face, saying, "I don't care if it's TV or not. You guys better fix this." Yandy and his family were the subject of several offensive remarks. One purported quotation from him read, and presenting a picture that is, let's say, unimpressive. Fans are bringing up clips from earlier seasons in which he was manipulative, passive-aggressive, or just plain dubious. They are accusing him of possessing a hero complex and using his image as a family man as a cover for manipulative behavior. In the meantime, Rasheeda's followers are coming together in force, and she has the hashtag Team Rashi on full steam, with influencers, bloggers, and even some celebrities reposting the video and commenting. "Rasheeda always carried herself like a queen. This was disgusting," said one of the widely shared tweets. "Protect Black women at all costs." That tweet alone received over 250,000 likes in a single day. This is a movement, not simply drama. But hold on, there is more, as each layer of the controversy falls like a wrecking ball in the midst of this whirlwind of backlash. Allegedly, Rasheeda contacted Love and hip-hop executive producer Mona Scott Young following her altercation with Kirk, asking. A production-related source claims that Mona informed Rasheeda, "We didn't see it coming. We're reviewing the footage and having internal discussions." Mona was evidently taken by surprise. Internal conversations are code for all of us. Freaking out and attempting to figure out how to spin this without getting sued. According to some insiders, Mona even wanted to remove the tape completely out of concern that it would cause a negative press storm. But it was too late because it had already been leaked to a few media outlets, blogs, websites, and behind-the-scenes screenshots, rumors, TikToks, and even grainy, fuzzy vertical video clips were already making the rounds. All of a sudden, this wasn't simply a moment from a reality show. It was a national headline. TMZ The Shade Room Hollywood Unlocked. The matter had gotten entirely out of hand, and articles with headlines like "Mendeecees is caught slapping Rasheeda in explosive scene" and "Fans demand accountability" were appearing everywhere. Mendeecees' name was trending with terms like abuse scandal and canceled. And where was Yandy really hiding away during all of this? She stayed completely silent on the radio, posting nothing, leaving no stories, or leaving any comments. If you know Yandy, you know that she's never quiet unless she's dodging something or has a significant project in the works. Despite the heat, people continue to drag her despite the silence. Critics asked, "How are you going to remain silent in the midst of all this?" She was accused of employing Mendeecees as her attack dog with the knowledge that he would blow up, and then when things became messy, she backed off. Others accused her of controlling the situation for screen time. There were even conspiracy theories that the brawl was staged for ratings, despite the fact that most insiders say it was not. And just when as if the story couldn't get any more interesting, Michelle, of course, joins the scene. She went live on Instagram and, without revealing names, posted a mysterious message that made followers immediately relate to the drama. "You all better stop allowing these powerful couples to deceive you. Just because two people are wearing matching gutsy doesn't indicate that their home is peaceful." She was discussing Yandy and Mendeecees' Michelle spilling tea when Boom fans lighted up the comment section. Then arrived Rasheeda, Yandy, Mendeecees, and the main trio are now embroiled in controversy, but other cast members and celebrities are also joining in. The tweets were screen captured, published, and incorporated into dozens of TikTok theories in a matter of minutes. What about VH1? The network has apparently gone into full damage control mode, with internal meetings taking place daily. Lawyers are reportedly analyzing contracts, and some high-level executives are reportedly discussing whether to pull. The real kicker is that Rasheeda has reportedly been given her own spin-off show out of this drama. Some think they're frightened of reaction, while others say the ratings would be too high to resist. the next episode or air it with a huge disclaimer. Apparently, Mona is dangling a huge bag to keep Rasheeda on board, promising her more. According to a production insider, the viewers adore Rasheeda because she is genuine, emotive, and respected. If she leaves, we lose a significant portion of the show. Rasheeda, on the other hand, isn't totally sure. According to some insiders, she's still thinking of leaving since the slap was the last straw, the betrayal was too severe, the agony was too real, and the camera was too intrusive. According to reports, Mendeecees' management team is pressuring him to issue a public apology. The issue is that he doesn't believe he did anything wrong. Yes, you heard me correctly. The problem is that he still The issue now is what will happen next. Would Rasheeda sue? Will Mendeecees double down? Will Yandy finally speak up? And most significantly, will this be the end of love and hip-hop as we know it? The man truly believes he is the victim. When you think this tempest is finally abating, it blows up again because guess who finally speaks up? Yandy. Yep. After remaining silent for days and ignoring all the smoke, all the tags, and all the trending tweets, Sis finally responds. Rather than being a confessional, the sit-down interview is a full-fledged Instagram picture with a black and white filter, heartfelt piano music playing in the background, and a caption that appears to have taken 2 hours to compose. She begins by saying, "As a woman, a mother, and a wife, and soon everyone was aware that this would be one of those posts." She says she didn't want the drama since she detests seeing others suffer and would never support violence, especially between cast members she looks up to. However, she adds a statement that made the internet go crazy, "But when people come for my family, I can't control how they react." Hold on, did Yandy actually just say that? If so, she's apologizing for Mendeecees' actions without mentioning his name. Social media went into full beast mode after she said she threw the rock, hit her hand, and then wrote a poem about peace. One of the most popular tweets said that she was manipulative and calculated. However, guess who reappears after all of this? For a final nasty cameo, Kirk does live with a radio personality and essentially agrees with what Rasheeda said. She was traumatized, and we were about to abandon the show completely. That slap was real. It wasn't faked, and they were fortunate that I wasn't on set because it would have been a few different kind of episode. Fans are now claiming that this may be the largest scandal in hip-hop and love history. It's bigger than Joe's line against everyone, Mimi's shower rod, Stevie J's bus of lies, and it was a true agony and betrayal. And actual repercussions as the network gets set to broadcast the show, they have already revealed a special reunion-style sit-down between Mendeecees and Rasheeda Yandy, presented by Mina Parker. Yes, they are pulling out the big guns for this one, according to sources. Rasheeda hardly talked. Yandy attempted to swivel around. Mendeecees refused to acknowledge anything, and Kirk sat in the corner with his arms crossed like a security guard about to leap. The sit-down was tight, unpleasant, and ugly. There was no resolution, just more chaos. Fans are left wondering what to do next. Will Rasheeda continue to appear on the show? Will Yandy's brand endure? Will Mendeecees finally face consequences? Or can Mona Scott Young somehow turn this entire catastrophe into the highest-rated season ever? That's what love and hip-hop always bring, chaos. This time, it wasn't manufactured. It was real and raw. This time, it got personal. Wow, did we just witness the collapse of a whole love and hip-hop empire in real time? This isn't just tea, honey. There's a whole boiling pot exploding all over VH, one after all the slaps, the shade, the Instagram essays, and the behind-the-scenes pandemonium. Let's be honest, what do you believe was the source of this? Is Mendeecees justified in his defense of Yandy in this way, or did he go too far? Was Rasheeda really caught in the crossfire, or was she attempting